Hey, Ronnie here from fourwheelinginwesternaustralia.com. I'm currently on a family trip in Shark Bay, Western Australia, and I'm testing out a camper trailer. So the guys from Predator Campers have been kind enough to lend me a trailer. So this is not a review video specifically on this trailer. It is my thoughts and my experience and what I think about camper trailers in general, this size, and I'm going to tell you to what type of trip that they will suit as well, because we had to change our trip plan a bit on the go because there was a few things we didn't realize about camper trailers. And I'm also going to give you some handy tips for towing a trailer and stuff like that, so stay tuned. Alright, so as I explained in the intro, we did have to change our plans a little bit on our trip, and the intention was to go to 3 different places, actually 4 different places for one night only. Stay there for the night, check out everything around, pack up in the morning, and then go to the next place. Now, that's the style camping that we are used to. I wanted to try and set this camper trailer up so you could just do it real quick. So without the legs underneath, still had the kitchen out, still cooked on it. So no legs out, so it's not stable. So when you're in it, it rocks a bit. Well, it wasn't too bad. So you can actually pull up and use these real quick. But lesson learnt, I reckon with these kind of camper trailers, they're definitely more suited for if you're going to set up for a couple of days. So changing our trip, 4 trips like that where you just want to stay 1 night or 2 nights at places, I don't recommend a camper trailer that size. However, if you are going to one place and use it as a base camp, which will work perfectly in a place like Shark Bay. So once we changed our trip, it was magic. So you go to one place, you stay there for as long as you can, you set up your camper trailer, you put the annex out, you do everything you need to do, and that is your base camp. You wake up in the morning, you have your breakfast, you just leave all your stuff there, off you go on your day trip, and you come back there, everything's already set up and everything's there waiting for you. For those kind of trips, a camper trailer that size is perfect. Now this specific one here is an off-road one. We've managed to take it down tracks and stuff like that too, so without any worries, not having to worry about the axle, not having clearance or anything. It's actually got more clearance than my Land Cruiser underneath. With everything around the trailer, I'll do a walkthrough now and I'll show you all the pull-out kitchen and all that stuff. So time for that walkthrough around the camper trailer, which is just behind me there. So that's it there, and this is our final stop with it. So we've got it pretty much just set up without the annex hanging out, which you've already seen on another shot. And I'll run you through it real quick what we've got. So in here I have the freezer, which is on a slide. Got your lights and everything. And then we've got a pull-out kitchen. It comes out like that. Then you have an extendable table underneath it, and your gas cookers. And then you got your provision for gas, which is a black one, and the orangey red one, that is for the water pump, which you can switch on here, and there's a light there too. Around the back, 2 storage compartments and a water pump. And then on the other side here, in here we got the 2 batteries. So I believe it's 220 or 240 amp hours of battery, so heaps of battery. Here you got your 15 amp plug, so you can charge it up, or the place where they have powered site. And then in here we have all the electronic system. So this is a cut off for everything. Tells you how much voltage is left in a battery, so does that. And here you can plug in a solar panel if you have one of those, and there's an inverter up here as well, which comes in handy, and that inverter goes to some plugs inside the actual camper. And then this is the other side of the fridge slide. So there's a fridge slide, there's a fridge on the other side, well, freezer we're using it as. And then here you can have even another one, but I've just got my camera gear there. And again, another light there. And then in here, you've got all your tent poles and stuff. I actually stored our fishing rods in here. It was long enough for that. And then you've got 2 storage compartments, one on each side. These hold heaps of stuff the whole way through is storage. 2 jerry can holders, one on either side of the gas bottle, 9 kilo gas bottle which feeds to the gas cooker. Inside, big enough for me to stand in here. So all 4 of us after this first night have all been sleeping over here. However, we did have the kids over here by themselves. Down here, these are the lights, and one turns a radio on. There's a radio. Here's the power plugs from the inverter. Got your USB plug, cigarette lighter plug, and this tells you how much water is left in the tank. We've been storing all our stuff under here pretty much, and all our bedding we've pretty much left on there and strapped down. So now for some camper trailer tips. So some of these tips I've learned from this trip, and other tips I've already known from previous towing experiences. So let's start off with our tip. One of my favourite and most useful tips for you when it comes to trailers, just in general, like it doesn't have to be a camper trailer, it can be anything, is to put it in four-wheel drive low, but unlock your hubs. Should you have freewheeling hubs on the front, unlock them, then you have two-wheel drive low range. And that is so good for reversing trailers and even going forward and negotiating your trailer. In a manual vehicle, you don't have to play with your clutch, and it just makes it so much easier. Feet off the pedals, concentrate on your steering. If you have a 12-volt refrigerator or freezer in your vehicle and one in the camper trailer, make the one in the camper trailer the freezer and the one in the vehicle a fridge. Because that way, when you head out on your day trips, you still got your fridge and you're not stuck with frozen goods. Store all of your trailer components in one place and make it part of the procedure. The reason why I'm stressing this point is I was disconnecting everything on the trailer at our second stop on this particular trip, which I've learned this experience from. I left the trailer adapter plug on my tow bar, and as I took off I forgot about it and it went on the highway, and we got halfway to our destination and then had to turn around and then keep our eyes peeled on the road, and luckily enough we found it. So make it part of your procedure. Tow ball everything, put it in one place. Maybe store it in the camper trailer. Make sure you bring a drinking water hose with all the fittings on it. That way when you're at the caravan park or somewhere else, that maybe at a station you're camping at, you can refill your water tank. You don't want to just bring a garden hose because it tastes horrible. One of the most important ones is to make sure that everything is strapped down and secure in your vehicle and the trailer before you take off. And if you are storing stuff inside the camper trailer like we have inside this one, because you can store it underneath the table, fill it up with all your goodies, make sure you're not storing something that you need outside the vehicle before you close it up, because they do take a bit of effort to pack away and open up. Stay married after and before you set up your camper trailer. You don't want to go into a massive argument about nothing, okay? So just take it easy, talk nicely to each other, and perhaps have a beer before you even start setting up. If you got young kids with you, first of all, make sure that they're somewhere they're not going to get run over. So when you park your trailer, make sure that they're still in the vehicle. Then take them out and give them some simple, easy jobs that'll keep them busy and make them feel part of the setup, and it'll make setting up so much easier. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Double check you have instructions for your more complex setting up part of your camper trailer. For example, the annex. We lost the instructions. So the first time we had to set it up, we had to go blind. But then we managed to get phone reception at the next place, and these guys, Predator Campers, were able to send me a photo message of the annex. So do make sure you have your instructions and make sure you got them stored in the camper trailer somewhere. Rightio, I hope you have found my thoughts and experience, or my whole family's experience on a camper trailer this size, useful for you in helping you make a decision whether you need one or you want one. And I hope you found my tips useful. Now, I'll just re-emphasize that if you're only going for a couple of days here and there and you're moving around a lot, I don't recommend a camper trailer this size. However, that said, if you are going to do base camp, so you're base camping at one place for 4 to 5 days or 3 days even, then it is definitely worth getting one of these or hiring one of these. So maybe hire one before you buy one. That is also another great suggestion for you. I'd like to thank Predator Campers for lending me this of no charge and giving my family a nice experience up here in Shark Bay, even though we had to change our trip, but that's just because we were a bit naive as to the setup of these things. This is our first experience with a camper trailer this size. Not my first experience towing, but first experience towing a camper trailer. Thanks for watching. If you like to support the creation of content like this, you can go to patreon.com/RonnieDale, and please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in another video.